God is not through with you yet. Can you repeat after me? God is not through with you yet. There was an old man, and he had just lost his wife. His wife of many years had passed. And his son, he had one son by his wife. And the son did not even come to his mother's funeral. So the old man felt really heartbroken. And he says, what is life worth living for? My wife is gone, and my son has no relationship with me. Why continue to live? So the old man purposed in his heart that he was going to end his life because life was not worth living. Well, the old man got up from his house and he said, I'm going to take a bus ride. And wherever this bus takes me, that's going to be my final destination. I'm going to die. So he gets on the bus, and the bus rides for a couple hours, and he's on this long journey. Doesn't know where he's going, but he's just taking this journey. And he gets to a bus stop. The bus stops for a break. So the old man departs the bus, and he's walking around this area he's not familiar with. But he sees a huge forest. And he says, well, I'm going to walk into that forest, and I'm going to end my life there. I'm going to die in that forest. So the old man walks to the forest. The bus departs. And he purposed in his heart that he had nothing to live for, and he was going to die in that forest. Well, as he walked into the forest, it was a very thick forest. It was light was not penetrating, even though it was daytime. So as he's walking, he begins to go down this path, and he sees a sign that says, "Be careful, there's a pit in front of you." And he looks over, he sees a pit. If the sign wasn't there, he would have surely fell into the pit. So he goes around the pit like, man, okay, I want to put that sign there. So he continues to walk, and he becomes thirsty. And he sees some water, and he walks and says, well, I'm going to drink some of that water over there. He walks over to the water, and there's a sign that says, don't drink this water, it's poisonous. There's some other water over yonder. So he follows to the next spot, and he sees the fresh water. And the sign says, you can drink this water, it's safe. He drinks the water to refresh it himself. And he's wondering, who put these signs here? So as he continues to walk, he becomes hungry. And he sees some fruit on a tree. And he walks over to grab some fruit to eat. And the sign says, don't eat this fruit. This fruit is poisonous. Eat fruit over yonder. So the old man walks over to the other tree where the sign says, this fruit is safe to eat. So he eats the fruit. So he's refreshed now. And he sits down. He begins to wonder, who is putting these signs around? Then he says it out loud, I wonder who put these signs out here. Then he hears a voice from behind a tree says, I did. And he looks, there's another old man who walks from behind the tree. And the old man says, I put those signs there. He said, may I ask why? Why would you put signs in the middle of a forest? He said, well, I came to this forest years ago, and I decided I wanted to end my life here. My son had died in that pit that you saw earlier. He fell into that pit, and we could not rescue him. I was heartbroken. My wife became so grief-stricken, she died because we lost our only son. So I came to this forest. My son is dead in a pit. My wife is dead. Why was life worth living any longer? So I decided I was going to end my life. He said, but then as I came to the pit that my son was in, I said, well, I don't want to fall down there. And I don't think anyone else should want to fall into that pit. So I put the sign there. And as I was going, I gained hungry and thirsty. And as me having a background in geology, I know what's good fruits, what's good water, and so forth. So I began to put signs to help folks who would come into this forest looking for water, fruit, or to avoid falling in the pits. So I put those signs up. And as I come out here every day, I see those signs have saved many lives. Just like those signs saved your life. So I come to realize that I have much life to live. and my life is there to help others live. So that message is for someone today. You may feel like life is not worth living. You may feel at the end of your rope that you should just give up on life. You may be at a crossroad, but I'm here to tell you that God is not through with you yet. You have much to live for. Don't quit. Don't give up. Trust in the Lord. You have much to live for. God bless you. Amen.